We are glad to welcome you on the Hard Reset YouTube channel, and today I will show how you can balance this DJI RSC 2 gimbal. So to start, you obviously need to mount the camera that you're going to, work with. We have the whole separate video on it, so if you have any issues on that step, check the video out. So practically what you need to do in order to balance your gimbal is to align the center of mass of your camera with the center of mass of the tilt axis, roll axis, and pan axis. One by one, we'll go from top to bottom, starting with the tilting axis. So in order to start balancing it, you need to unlock the motor by, moving the toggle here to the unlocked position. Actually unbalance it so it will be more apparent. And once you can see, if I were to unlock it, it will fall that way. That means that the tilt axis is poorly balanced. So to begin, move the camera to the same position like that, unscrew this knob, and counteract the camera movement. What I mean by that is that if your camera leans against you, that means that you need to push this plate in the opposite direction, so towards you. Right now the camera is falling towards me, so I need to get this plate out a little until the camera will be able to remain stationary, or somewhat stationary at least. So yep, now it can stay that way, which means that this plate has been somewhat regulated successfully, so we can screw the knob in. Now as you can see, if we were to put it like that, it will fall to the bottom, which means that it requires more fine-tuning, which we'll do by moving the mounting plate. So unlock it by unlocking this lever here, so move it to the unlocked position, and now we can move the whole plate back and forth until we'll feel the balance here. So the way you can tell that it is well balanced, if regardless of which position you put the camera in, it should not bounce back like that. It should stay in whatever position you put it in. So as far as I can see, my camera's center of mass is leaned towards it. I mean, in alignment with this motor, of course. Everything is relative. The Einstein discovered that in the first half of 20th century, but still. So basically, if it leans against me, that means that I need to move the plate towards me just a tiny bit. All your adjustments should be very conservative and fine. Do not rush, be patient, and believe me, eventually you will get a hang of it. It just takes practice. It's not really hard as long as you understand and able to grasp the general concept. That is that first you need to move, first regarding the tilting axis, you need to balance this plate, then balance that plate that the camera is mounted on. So if I were to put it this way, it bounces back clearly, but yeah, all other position seems almost stable. That means that it leans towards me, so I need to make a slight and tiny push against me. Just move this plate a couple of nanometers away from me. Just all your movements should be fine and very, very conservative, as I've already mentioned. So now let's see whether we've managed to balance it out. Well, it looks a tiny bit better, but it's still not really well balanced, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, probably I will need to unscrew this knob again and move the plate towards me just a tiny bit, like that. Let's see. Yeah, now the camera is almost perfectly stable. There are some points at which it falls. That is this point here, right? Or somewhere here, probably. No, actually it doesn't. It did fall before. Oh, here it is. That means that the camera is just a tiny slight bit. The camera's center of mass is just a tiny bit to the front. Leans towards in relation to this motor, of course. So I gotta push it towards myself just a fraction of the centimeter. And now it's, well, so. Once again, it still has a few points of instability, or actually that's good. That's perfectly fine. You can leave it at that. So the tilt axis is dealt with successfully. Moving on to the next motor, that is this one, or the roll-in axis calibration. So let's unlock this, or balancing rather. So let's unlock this motor. As you can see, my balance is all the way to the right, so I need to move this plate to the left. So let's unscrew this knob and move it to the left until the camera remains stable. Yeah, that should do. You can also fine-tune the roll-in axis not by moving this plate through this knob. You can also just unlock this lever here and move the camera left and right here. Just make sure not to, well, make the balance worth, of course. So if you need any fine-tuning, do that. What if you think you need any fine-tuning, rather do that. Yep, so this looks somewhat balanced actually. Yeah, kinda, will do. So now let's move on to the last axis, that is the pen axis. So let's unscrew this knob. And the way you check how balanced it is in your particular case is by unlocking it here, or actually screw the knob back, just unlock the motor first and lean it like that, lean the whole gimbal like that. And as you can see, my gimbal wants to move to the left, which means that I need to counteract it and push this thing towards myself, or well, just like that, I guess. So let's screw it back in and check again. Now it leans towards the right slightly, so I've exaggerated the tune, so let me push it against myself now, just to make it, well, just to reduce this right swingle. Yeah, now it looks perfectly balanced actually. What is next for us to do on the agenda, what is next on the agenda, is to also make an, or rather start an automatic tuning. So the way you do that is unlock all the motors, so unlock all of them, all 3 of them to be exact. Pray that your gimbal does not fall apart, of course. So if you balanced it right, it should, even once you unlock all motors, it should stay like that. Now activate the gimbal by long pressing the power button at the side. I would assume that by now you have already connected the gimbal to your phone through the DJI running app. If you didn't, we have a separate video on how to get this app and connect the gimbal with your phone, so check that. I will not mention it in this video since today we are going to balance it. So to begin, we gotta auto tune it, so go into the motor parameters here in the app, so motor parameters, and tap at the auto tune button. So it says that the gimbal is locked or unbalanced, which is not true. All 3 motors are, or I forgot to, actually I accidentally locked the panning axis. Yeah, now it's better, now it should work, I guess. It didn't recognize the fact that I've unlocked it or what? Well, let's try. Give me a sec here. Let's try to auto tune it now. Well, if it doesn't work. Oh, let's connect to gimbal first. I forgot to do that, so that's my bad. Excuse me, guys. So now we can go into balance test, or the motor parameters rather. Tap at the auto tune. Okay. And now let's wait for the process to finish. It will shake like that, it will check the balance and adjust the motor stiffness accordingly. So auto-tune has been completed successfully. Now the last thing that I recommend you do is that you perform the balance test, making extra sure that you balanced everything correctly, and you can begin using the gimbal the way it is designed to be used. In order to do that, you gotta take your gimbal into your hand, then make the following tilt. Here you'll see the angle, so make sure that your angle stays between 15 to like 45 degrees, and then begin the test. And well, hold your gimbal this way until the test finishes. So as you can clearly see, all three axes has been balanced successfully, and the app has gotten back to us with the balance test results. All three axes are excellently balanced, literally. So I guess that'll be it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your attention. And bye-bye.